panicking as soon as like she overheard Jason Mewes being like, I don't like her, and she has not stopped panicking since then, and it's just been like building. And I think this is like just all of the panicking happening at once.
Yeah. Also, are they the only two people in the movie we only ever see live with Derek and Paige? Like, we don't see anybody else on set.
How can you forget all of the backup dancers?
They're not here yet.
Oh. Yeah, I guess they're the only people in the movie.
And then Marco's there and Paige is stressed and lashing out at him and being annoying. And then Ellie's mom calls Marco and we're like, oh God, what's happening? This sounds serious. And then we're with Emma and Manny and Kelly, and Manny's like crying in the dot because Paige got this part. And Emma's like, no, Mewes wants you. And then, like, Jason Mewes calls her, and she's like, it's Emma. And I'm like, does he even know Emma? And she's like, no. I still need Manny in my movie. Paige is terrible. And then Emma hangs up, and she's like, he still wants you to come. You need to get your butt to L.A. pronto. And I don't know. It's a lot.
The whole Mewes thing feels very forced.
Yeah, it's Mewes. Also, again, man, I don't think Emma knows him. She wasn't in the movie last time. I don't know. And then we're on set, and the producer's like, guess what, Paige? You got the 17 cover.
All right. I take a lot of issue with this. This is not how fucking magazines work. At all. Like,
you plan out, you know who's going to be on the cover months ahead of time.
Like, always. Like, you it's the most important part. Like, you need to know who's going to be on the cover. Like, even so, when I was at my last job, we would sometimes do like competitions, and like so a certain person would win out a cover. But even then, it was never a front cover. It was always like a flip cover for you know, subscription only. Like, it was like a cover inside the real cover. Like, the only time we ever like last minute changed real cover was because there was like something scandalous about the person who was on the original cover, and we happened to have like, yeah, I can't talk about it, but it was a thing. So we ended up using like a model from like the Australian version of our magazine, like as our cover, like literally a week before ship. It was crazy.
Wow. But yeah, it's like,
not how it fucking works.
You don't do a cover, you don't do a shoot and then decide like, oh, I guess we'll just use that for the cover. It doesn't make sense.
There's so much planning involved, and also like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, and like there wouldn't be buzz because the cover wouldn't come out for another like 4 months.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Like most magazines are working on like November and December right now, and it's August. Like, it's months and months in advance that you like ship the magazine. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I'm mad about this.
Whatever. And then we're with Ellie and Marco. I don't know. This is when we find out that, oh yeah, Marco's like, your mom called me. Your dad's sick and you haven't even seen him yet, and he's back from Afghanistan. And Ellie's like, shut up, I don't want to talk about it. And then
she hands him her bag from the Canadian shop, which is literally just called Canadian shop because it says so on the bag.
But then we're with the Stüdz, and Sav is really excited for their like bro bus trip, and he's like, this is gonna be scratching and belching and not showering, a good time. And then like Mia shows up, and he's like, all right, so much for that. I guess Mia's coming.
Is this really a thing boys look forward to? Like, that seems like weird. I don't like I like a girls' weekend or whatever, but like, we're not just like, we're gonna be disgusting.
I don't know. I don't get it. And then Paige is like going to a Hollywood party, and Marco's like, I'm worried about Ellie. And she's like, whatever, I'll talk to her tomorrow. Bye. And then we're at the show.
Well, now we're seeing that Paige is like getting all full of herself and being real cunty, and fucking Haley is back, and she's like, I thought you weren't going to be my friend. She's like, we're famous now, we can be friends. Like, it's a whole thing. It's really dumb. I don't know. Like, I don't like this, but we're starting to see Paige change.
Yes.
And it's weird.
She did a complete 180. She was like, I need to keep my real friends. Next scene, not fuck these guys.
Just like immediate. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then Ellie is going to Craig's show, And Craig is still playing that song from the last time he was here. And
He has 2 songs.
yeah. And then he's like, where's Paige and Marco? And she's like, Paige was busy and Marco and I got into a fight. And Craig is like, oh no, sorry about that. Do you want to stay with me instead? It's like, oh God, this is a bad idea. And Ellie is like, I don't know, this sounds like a bad idea. And he's like, I'm different now. We're both different now. And I'm like, no, you're not.
You are exactly the same. Nothing has changed. You're just not on drugs anymore.
He's like, my condo's right on the beach and it's really cool. And I'm like, your default is just leading her on. This is a bad idea.
That's Craig's entire fucking thing.
And then, like, Ellie goes back to the house to get her stuff. And she's like, I'm going to go stay with Craig. And Margot's like, what? That's a terrible idea. And she's like, no, it's not. And she's like, I'm over him. And it's like, no, you're such a liar.
She's like, there's no Craig drama. And Marco's like, there's always Craig drama. And we are all Marco throughout this entire episode. Because he's the only person with, like, any sort of, like, rational idea of, like, what should be happening. And he's like, why is everyone crazy?
And he's like, I know you're going through a really hard time right now. This doesn't sound like it'll make things better. Like, what's happening with you? And she's like, bye, I'm leaving. And you just feel bad for Marco. He's just trying to be a good friend. Oh, and then, like, Paige is back from the party. And she and Haley are looking at Perez Hilton because they made it on Perez Hilton. And Paige was called, like, the new celebus slut, which I guess is a good thing.
Remember Perez Hilton? That was a rough time, guys.
He can't be mean to celebrities anymore.
Thank God.
They made him stop.
Because he was the living worst.
Also, Paige said it was Trey Cool Party.
Oh, fucking Paige.
Her and her Frenchisms.
It's just so cheesy. But, like, oh, and then, like, Ellie's like, yeah, I'm gonna go stay with Craig's, like, later skater. And Paige is like, oh my God, that's so great. Maybe you're gonna get laid. Whatever. See you.
Yeah, she, like, does not give a fuck. Oh, and so now we're on the road. I think we forgot to say, like, Manny got on the bus too, and they're all, like, going to LA. But then the bus breaks down, and somehow Mia all of a sudden knows, like, bus mechanics. Like, I don't know.
I feel like with Mia, they just try to throw more stuff on her to make her cool girl, and it's just like, fine, whatever.
And then Manny is, like, trying to, like, practice her lines and practice the songs for this audition, but she's too distracted. She's like, mixed method takes concentration. And then Peter and company are like, well, you can't practice singing if you don't sing, so just sing. And they're all, like, staring at her. And she, like, starts practicing singing. And they're like, you're not going to sing it like that, are you?
Which, like, come on, you guys. Out of anyone, you should not be fucking judging because you are trash.
You are terrible.
They're all wearing really bad sweaters in that scene also.
They're all just terrible in general. And then we're at Craig's house, and, like, he and Ellie are, like, in their pajamas, like, chatting, and he's like, I can't believe your ex slept with Caitlyn. It's like, oh yeah, forgot about that.
I also forgot about that. That was a gross thing that happened. Oh, also he wrote her a song
And
because
then
of
he's like,
fucking course he did.
I've got this song I want to play you. And it's actually kind of a nice song. But then, and she's, like, just sitting there falling in love with him all over again.
He's making so much eye contact, and it's like, I would be so uncomfortable if someone was like, I'm gonna play you a song, and then, like, did not break eye contact for, like, 2.5 minutes.
She was really good at receiving that song.
Yeah.
Oh, she was into it. She was on board for so much eye contact, which I feel like is a mistake.
She was over the moon about it. She did not feel awkward at all. She was just all about the song. And then we get to a fun beach montage. And then I think the song says stuff like, I can rescue you. And I'm like, oh boy, this is a lot. And he buys her a balloon. Which is ridiculous.
The balloon is my favorite part. There's no reason. They, like, don't go anywhere where there are balloons. Like, if they, like, went to, like, a carnival, or there was, like, some sort of street fair, or, like, even, like, just on the boardwalk, anywhere that you're gonna spot a balloon. But instead, they're just walking on the beach, and then they're on the boardwalk, but there's nothing around. She just now has a balloon.
I almost wanted him to, like, tie it around her wrist so she didn't lose it.
The It trailer came out recently, so now I'm just like, we all float down here? I don't know what's happening. She looks like that is what's about to happen. It's just it. It's just it.
It's ridiculous. And then we get an update about Ashley, and he's like, yeah, we went on tour, and she stayed in Europe, and I came back. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot Ashley and he were, like, on tour together.
Also, staying in Europe is a total classic Ashley move.
Totally. Good riddance. Make her stay there forever, please. But then, oh, God, then we get, like, the emotional scene by the bus where they're, like, still stranded or they're stranded again. I don't know. And Jay's like trying to help Manny out. Or maybe they just stopped because all the Stüdz had to pee or something.
That's what happened.
And then she's like, I don't know. Maybe I need to call Mick. And he's like, no. And then he like takes her phone. And he's like, no more Professor Sociopath. Not on my watch.
Which is a great nickname because that is what he is.
And then he like takes her phone and he throws it into the forest. And then he's like hugging her and she's freaking out, and it's like they have so much chemistry together even when they're like working through this emotional scene. It didn't feel over the top to me. It was very good.
I love them so much, and I'm so sad that they're not together.
And he cares about her so much, and then fucking Sav ruins the moment. He's like, guys, I found a phone.
Sav is the biggest dummy. Him and his sticker book.
Oh, his damn stickers. But then we're back at Craig's house, and they like get back from their beach montage, and his girlfriend Yvette is there in a towel, and it's like, surprise, Craig has a model girlfriend, and Ellie's like, oh fuck.
She's just like super freaked out, and she's doing that like smiling but scared eyes thing. It's good.
Yeah, and then Yvette's like, I just ordered a ton of sushi, plenty to go around. You should stay for dinner. And Ellie's like, okay, I guess.
It's classic Craig, man.
Totally. And then we're at like lunch or drinks.
Yeah, we're out with Haley and Paige, and Haley is like talking about Paige's birthday, and Paige is like, it's not my birthday. And she's like, it is now, and you're turning 18, which, okay, sure. And then so what gave me pause is she's like, we're going to invite all the A-listers, and neither of these girls knows any fucking A-listers, and they would not show up to this nobody's party. Yeah. What fucking A-listers?
I don't know. And she says, youth is key. According to IMDb, I'm 19.
Which is super believable.
And then she starts talking to her about, like, the movie. And she's like, all the best actors improvise. Like, you got to do it. Just shake it up. And I'm like, no, that's terrible advice.
It is not good advice. But also, like, yeah, really good actors do improvise. But they also, like, have years of training and know how to improvise. And, like, only with certain directors.
Yeah, not all directors are open to that. Like, some want you to stick to the script, like, verbatim. Come on, guys. But then we're back at dinner, and Craig is like, yeah, we met when I was opening for Fall Out Boy, and I pulled her up on the stage. I'm like, that's such a Craig move.
Also, when would he have had that opportunity? Because he's, like, singer-songwriter. There isn't really like a lot of dancing. He'd just be like pulling her up on the stage to stand awkwardly, and he'd have to stop playing his guitar while he does it. I don't understand the logistics of this situation.
I don't know. It sounds like a fan fiction we wrote for somebody.
It does sound like a fan fiction we wrote for somebody. Oh man.
And Ellie is like, oh my god, I can't. And then she's like, I gotta go now, bye. And he's like, I thought you were staying with me.
Well, they're straight up making out at the dinner table, and it's really gross. I'd leave too.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then he's like, and then he follows her, and he's like, sorry, I should have told you about her. And she's like, no, like, I need to stop, like, thinking that my feelings for you will ever be requited. I just keep interpreting things wrong, which is like, no, Craig fucking feeds into this bullshit. It's not all your fault, Ellie.
He loves the attention. Like, and I feel like we've all been on both sides of this situation. Like, I've definitely, like, been, like, mean because I wanted the attention in a shitty way. Probably not for very long, but long enough that it's not cool. But I've definitely also been obsessed with a person who, like, gives you, like, just, like, little, like, love crumbs. Isn't that like a ex-girlfriend song? Crazy ex-girlfriend song?
Love crumbs?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't remember. It's the one where she's like dressed like a cactus in the desert.
I don't remember. But then like she goes back to the mansion, and then she's like, yeah, his girlfriend showed up and I just wanted to give them space. She's like trying to be all nonchalant about it to Marco. And it's like, okay, sure, whatever. And then Paige comes in. Is Paige there? I don't know. Or maybe we're back on set, and then this is when Paige is wearing her juicy